Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so happy you're here today. I am working on a project for the Outlaws Anything Goes in a Card-Free Zone challenge, where our optional theme is Name Game. And I'll explain that to you in just a minute how that challenge works. I'm going to include the challenge address below, so if you want to join us, please do. We would love to have you. In order to win the prize, and there is a prize this month, you have to follow our theme Name Game. Let's talk a little bit more about that theme. The idea is to use something that starts with the first initial of your first name or the last initial of your last name. For example, my first name is Katrina, starts with a K, so I used Kraft Paper, and I put a key on my project, which you'll see later. And the last name, last initial, is N, Brown N. So I have made a notebook, and I have a number on the cover of my notebook. I started my project here in Cricut Design Space. I did a couple of things here. I started with my picture of the horse and added my title, 13-Week Challenge. Then I brought in a rounded corner rectangle and sliced out an oval and made my pocket. Now, if you notice that my title on here is a little different than the finished product, good eye. I did change that. All right, so let's get started. Here are the sticky alpha pieces, and they're not even sticky. I'm not sure why they're called that. I have some heavy thread. I believe it's a double F, but any sort of thread you have laying around will work. I just happen to have this from having made oboe reeds most of my life. I have the little key. I have a ribbon and a paper clip, and also a little like key fob, lanyard fob. I also have some little jewelry rings there that I'll be using, along with a couple of eyelets. Now here are my pieces, and Gecko Gals is sponsoring our challenge, and this horse is from the Gecko Gals. My signatures are made up of 8.5 by 11-inch paper folded in half, and I have several of them. I do not have permission to show you what's on the signatures. It's from a challenge that I did with Horse Girls. If you're interested in that, I'll link that below also. All right, the vertical length of my folder here is 8.75 inches. And then I measured from each of the fold lines on the front and back 5.75 inches. And this will house then all of my signatures that I have. I'm going to go ahead and start with the cover on this. And what I'm doing is, and I've bumped this up really fast because it's about as exciting as watching paint dry, right? But what I've done here is I've put double score tape on every single layer. Then I will go ahead and put Fabri-Tac over that. Now, the reason I put Fabri-Tac over them is because I like the idea that I can move it. That tape is so sticky that once you stick something down, you are committed. You're not going to move it. But if I put Fabri-Tac over that, then I have the option of moving it just a little itty bitty bit. All right, there's my craft paper for my K, and I'm adding that score tape, and then I'm just layering up all of these pieces. Again, score tape, Fabri-Tac, every single layer. That way, if something isn't straight, I have the ability to make it straight. All right, so once I get all of these layers built, then I will be ready to move on to the pocket. Now I took this pocket and I decided, oh, let's add something fun. Let's add some clocks. But then when I embossed it, I tore it. So all I did is I went back to my Cricut really quickly, used some scrap of that file folder and just cut the very same shape. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to rub some ink over it, some darker ink, just to make it so that it blends with the craft. Glue that on, and now it makes a nice sturdy pocket and takes care of that little rip. You can't even tell that it was ripped. I'm going to place that on the inside of the back of my folder. Now I'm coming to my signatures. What I did here is I did a 3-hole signature hole punch on this, okay? I went in a 1/2 inch from the top, 1/2 inch from the bottom, and then right in the very middle, 4.25 inches. Then I came in and I used my piercing tool along with a little mat below it, and I punched the holes in each system. So when you do this, you want to get those holes as close to the center as you can. And you might want to clip your papers together, especially if you have large systems. Mine aren't that large, so I felt like I could easily just hold my hand there and keep them in place. Okay, I made a couple of attempts at showing how to stitch signatures. With my camera set up and my lack of proficiency in stitching signatures, it was total chaos. So I'm going to do right by my viewers, and I'm going to give you a couple of wonderful videos that you can check out. They are linked in the box below. Check those out. Okay, my signatures are all stitched together, and I have stitched all the signatures, or one of the middle signatures, to a piece of serial card that is just a little less than the measurement of the spine of my folder. That way it will fit inside. So you can see here that now I'm putting on some double-side tape, and then I will stick that right into the folder. So it's just a little bit longer than the size of my systems, but a little bit less in width and length than the actual folder. So you can see here I'm going kind of slowly. I'm really getting it in place and just pressing that in. Now later on, when I show you this little notebook, you'll see that I also covered the inside to cover up the writing that was on the folder. All right, all I'm doing here is I'm taking those letters. I'm going to go ahead and set my eyelets in there. And once the eyelets are set, then I will come in and put them on little jewelry rings. So I'm just going to take one little jewelry ring here and connect the 2 letters. Now that's for my name and my horse's name, Katrina and Jake, because we are the 2 doing this contest, or this challenge, I should say. And now I am attaching them to a little lanyard clip, I guess. I've put a ribbon on there, and now I'm putting my paper clip in, and this will provide a bookmark so that I can quickly find what page I'm on in my journal. Now for my second confession. I made this journal back at the beginning of summer and used this for my summer challenge. I have another journal that I actually will be showing you tomorrow that covers my fall. Okay, so if you like journals and you'd like to see what I did, because I did the cover differently, tune in tomorrow for my fall journal for my 90-day challenge. All right. Hey, questions or comments, leave them below. I'm going to leave you the links to the challenge, the links to the other video, so you can check those out. And I'll see you again tomorrow for another journal experience. Have a great week. Bye.